As Andrew said, the hosts read a little something. Andrew does his haiku. When I can bring myself to do it, write little microessays about myself. So you can learn a little about me. They're real short, so if you don't like it, it'll be over soon. I hate the sound of my recorded voice. When Kyle edits these videos, I have to leave the room. Oddly enough, listening to my voice on my own podcast didn't bother me. There's a difference, I think, between the voice that knows it's being recorded and the voice that expresses itself unselfconsciously. It's this unfamiliar, unselfconscious voice that makes me cringe. Singing used to be my great talent, though you wouldn't know it now. I was bestowed some cosmic boost, some innate ear for music, and pre-tuned vocal cords when I was a child. I spent my childhood and young adulthood honing this talent. Private lessons, children's choirs, summer music camps. Yes, I went to music camp over the summer as a teenager. Solo competitions, high school musicals, an a cappella group. Even an audition for the Lyric Opera Children's Choir, where I was turned down for being, of all things, too tall. There was a checkbox, either voice not good or too tall, and they checked too tall. It was so weird. Anyway, I was not tall. Despite this, I never got used to singing in front of people. My whole body would vibrate with anxiety, starting with my legs, moving up through my torso, and then coming out through my voice. The voice that performed was never as good and true as the voice I sang with in the shower. The last time I sang on a stage was a decade ago for a non-denominational gospel choir in New York City. We rehearsed in Carnegie Hall and performed at Lincoln Center to huge crowds. It's crazy to think about. I loved performing in this choir because I could sing and have my voice drowned out at the same time. And there was choreography, which was awesome. One winter, I got the flu and I lost my voice, even my speaking voice, for over a month. It came back slowly, and my deepest fear is that it never really fully came back at all. The word that comes to mind is unforgivable, but what does forgiveness have to do with it? My therapist, in an unrelated conversation, suggested an exercise. Get yourself a nice thick newspaper, roll it up as tight as you can, and then whack it against a tabletop while over and over again shouting your own name as loud as you can. I've never built up the courage to actually do this, but I bet it would help. How have I spent half a lifetime afraid of my own voice? Talking about this is excruciating. Singing was always a thing I could just do. And now when I try to recapture what I used to be able to just do, I can't. I barely sing at all. But the just doing is, of course, a myth. Singing felt like a part of my identity, so being unable to do it is like becoming a different person, one with a jagged piece missing. Very few of my friends know that this part of my life ever existed. How mind-boggling is that? Why would I try to bury myself? Sometimes even my speaking voice doesn't come out right. I try to make it loud, and it will not go. Singing, or any vocal practice, requires so much of the body to be in good alignment and strong and fine-tuned in very specific ways. Any singer will tell you that the voice does not exist in the throat. Focusing on the throat brings tension there, and tension is how you kill a voice. Fear is how you kill a voice. Can a voice be resurrected? It's a fearful question, but it has a logical answer. The question I'm more afraid to ask is, am I brave enough to begin? Thank you.